Okay, looks like we are live. Yep, I'm Powered Up Mike, and it's time for, well, another week of the games I've played. Yeah, this was just last Friday when I originally recorded this. But one thing I just want to note before we start, the audio did get split into two parts while recording. I'm sorry about that little slip up, but I hope you don't mind, and well, please enjoy. But you might know me better. Well, probably not, but I'm Powered Up Mike on YouTube and, pretty much everywhere else online. Yep, welcome to, well, another week of the games I've played. And yeah, this one, there was plenty of topics I could have talked about this week, but, well, there's plenty of things going on in the world with games I've played, Let me just pull up my little notes. Gotta be careful I don't go messing with my phone too much, because the sad part is, I can't really record it from the computer directly, and I don't think it would work out with me recording it right on my laptop live as it happens, because, the overlapping sound and audio and storage limitations, whatever, but, well, go with what you got. Anyways, so currently in the world of Nintendo this week, today's the 24th, and on the 27th, the 3DS and Wii U eShop's closing, and, well, after 10, 11, 12 years, it had a good run. So, part of me wants to, talk about the eShop, but of course, last few Friday, not long ago, Friday I left for spring break, it was Mario Day, and I enjoyed some Smash Bros. Brawl to celebrate, since I should play that game a little more, but at the same time, there was one game I felt that kind of checked all the boxes. Mario Day. Yes, I know the Mario movie's coming out, but this isn't about movies. This is about games. The eShop's closing, a game that'll no longer be easily accessible. That'd be the DSiWare exclusive app, Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis March Again. Now, it's not a 3DS digital download. Well, it is, but it was technically a DSiWare app first, so I'll count it. Besides, it's close enough. Now, one of the saddest parts, all this DSiWare, it's gonna be just gone in a matter of days, and now, growing up, I actually didn't start with the 3DS, I started with the DSi XL, and to this day, it's still kind of an odd piece of hardware. What's really brutal is the DSi and DSi XL in itself, it never really had a lot of time in the spotlight. Don't let people tell you otherwise. It did not have 3 years in the spotlight, no. It at most had, it had little over two, which is okay, but still not a lot of time, and in America, it had even less than that. Now, the DSi, its big features are, better internet security or something. Chat, if you're listening to this on demand on my YouTube, just correct me in the chat. I'll be here. But the one big thing Nintendo did was the DSi shop. It was one of the first digital shops of its kind. It wasn't the first, of course, but still. But the problem is, starting things off it wasn't really utilized by Nintendo that much, because a lot of the games they had for it, actual games and not small applications, a lot of them were already on cartridge form, like the 3 Brain Age games. Those were just downloadable versions of the 2 cartridge games. And of course, Art Academy got its own cartridge. But Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis March Again, why did I pick that up? Well, it was the closest thing to a Mario adventure the DSi shop had at the time, and yes, it was technically all new levels, but it was basically just a ROM hack of the second game from what I can tell. maybe. I mean, I want to say it was, looking back, I want to say it was just new levels, more challenge levels from the second Mario vs. Donkey Kong game. So yeah, it's not a traditional Mario platformer, it's a puzzle game for those that don't know. Yeah, you take control of mini Marios, which are little wind-up Mario toys. You guide them through puzzles, collecting coins and other pickups. Avoid obstacles, don't let them fall and break. Get them to the exit altogether into the exit in a quick amount of time. Better you do, better points you'll get. The better you do, you'll get a higher rank, and you unlock more levels that way. It's pretty standard stuff. And I mean, it was everything you wanted in a full game. It's like of course there was the main story mode, but there was online play, I believe, but well, I never utilized it. And I don't know if WiiMFi supports it, and besides, DS WiiMFi is pretty complicated to set up. It's much easier on the Wii, but yeah, that's a whole nother story. Now, in terms of the whole puzzle aspect, it's like the puzzles weren't that hard, but I mean, as a 10-year-old, I was able to get through a large chunk of the game. At least 60 out of the 100 levels, maybe more, 70. But, you know, when you're young and inexperienced with games, there's only so far you can go. And, yeah, this game took me about 10 years to finally beat. But from what I recall with levels, there were the standard regular levels. You tap on the mini Marios, or mini Toads, or mini Peaches. Yeah, all little wind-up toys. Just guided them through the levels, used the blocks, picked up the coins and card. Yeah. Then there were the key levels where you had to do the guide the minis into the goal in a certain order. But I guess another good way of describing it was basically Mario vs. Donkey Mario. It was a mix between like a Mario game and Lemmings. That's a good way to put it. And what else? Yeah. Now, after you beat the main game, of course, after you did the boss fights by firing mini Marios in the right spots at the right time, kind of hard to describe. You couldn't fire them at Donkey Kong directly, but it's kind of weird how in the Mario world it's like the Mecha Koopas, yeah, they'll hurt Mario if he touches them, but Donkey Kong, I guess he's stronger than Mario, because if you were to fire a mini Mario at him, they'll just break into little pieces and so yeah, you shoot them up, have things fall on them, make sure stuff doesn't fall on you, get the collectibles. Yeah, it was fine enough, but there was a whole post-game, and yeah, it kind of followed that Nintendo trend of playing the entire game again, where it was plus levels, you could call them, where this time all the mini Marios and whatnot, they just moved on their own. You couldn't manually start them. So yeah, you had to be on your toes, but, well, the game didn't stop you from pausing the game. So yeah, if you were like me, you'd look up a guide for certain levels, pause, follow the guide, and yeah. But the thing is, since it wasn't really a main Mario game and it was like one of those tricky puzzle games, I never made it a priority to finally beat that game. And you gotta remember, we're going back to 2011, and back then, DS capture cards practically didn't exist. Yes, there were emulators and stuff, but I don't know if they were the most reliable, and good luck if you had a strong enough computer to handle it. I don't know if DSiWare is even emulatable nowadays. I'm pretty sure it is, but chat, just correct me. Not that anyone's going to be really watching this anyway. So with the lack of help and lack of guides, it's like, in fact, for many years, even Super Mario Wiki, they didn't have the most in-depth articles about, the levels. It's like, a bunch of the levels just had that red text with page does not exist. So yeah, you couldn't really go far. So for years on end, I just wouldn't care. Or it's like I try, and I'm like, oh, didn't make any progress. Well, whatever. And I'd forget about it. Now, the way I ended up beating the game, it's like, I made progress, I made plenty of progress, and the rooftop, the basement levels, which are always kind of annoying, and the 4th floor plus world, whatever it's called, that was a killer one. But I managed to do it. I just did. I mean, it takes time. And I mean, like, if you don't know what you're doing, and especially if you're an inexperienced kid like me, yeah, it won't be easy. I don't consider myself to be that skilled in, level making with the bonus levels, and yeah, sadly I accidentally stopped the recording, and oh no. I'll have to fix that later in the post when I go to record it later on, stream it. But spamming the coins, every level needed the card, put in a 1-up or 2. I mean, it was a charming, fun little game, but at the same time, just like with a lot of DSiWare, could have been much more. Now, for those listening, if anyone, it might be too late, depending on when I'm posting this to YouTube, but yeah, it's Friday the 24th when I'm recording this. If you really like puzzle games, just give it a try. It's not that bad. It's enjoyable. But if you have the skill of 9-year-old me, get used to hearing that game over theme. The music is alright. It's nothing catchy or memorable, but it's charming, but it's not that good. And now it's, I believe, $8 plus tax in the 3DS eShop, unless you want to go out and emulate it, but well, it's probably going to be the only way you can play it if you're listening to this after the 27th. Unless you're crazy enough to go out, hunt down a 3DS or DSi with the game already installed on it and pay for it that way. Yeah, you could, but I don't know anyone who'd actually do that. But with DSiWare, it's like, it was classified as a premium game because, like, anything $8 or more was considered premium, and yeah, that's when you would normally get a game, and yeah, sometimes it just wouldn't live up to snuff, and I really think this should have been a pack-in title for the DSi XL itself. I guess the DSi too. But if I recall correctly, I think their DS bundle had like one of the cartridge versions of Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I forget which one, but come on. When you're a kid, do you really want to play Brain Age? Come on. It's like, you want to play games, not do quizzes and stuff. Nintendo, they kind of made a pretty poor choice with picking Brain Age, Math, Brain Age Arts and Letters, and Photo Clock as your 3 pack-in titles. It's like, come on, those aren't really games. Like, this could have been the perfect opportunity to have a pack-in game, but, well, lost potential again. Let me just... And that's the thing with a lot of DSiWare title. DSi. After the 3DS launched in spring 2011, in fact, almost 10 years ago today in the US, I believe the 26th. Wait a minute. I have to... Yeah, after the 3DS launched, Nintendo, they just stopped caring about the DSi and DSiWare in general. Aside from third parties, but come on. Third-party games, it's not like there were that many good ones. And I don't think there were really any exclusive ones. Or were there? Again, chat, just correct me. Oh, would you look at that? The eShop is closing on the 12th anniversary of the North American 3DS launch. Look at that. It's kind of come full circle, and isn't that nice? Maybe not so nice, but you know. But as I was saying with DSiWare, it's like there weren't really any games, and yeah, I was pretty disappointed to open up the DSi shop for the first time, only to find out there was no virtual console. It was just a big button that said DSiWare. But I mean, the Wii shop at the time, yeah, it had a lot of good stuff. Virtual console, Wii channels, WiiWare. At least WiiWare had, some actual games, original games with it, but was the DSi that underpowered? Maybe. But they could have just done so much more with it, but they didn't. Yeah, with buying a DSi, unless you got one when it was brand new or in the spotlight, yeah, you missed out. Yeah, but still, I'm not going to let that take away from all the fun memories I've had with my DSi XL. Oh, those many hours of playing Mario 64 DS, New Super Mario Bros., Personal Trainer Walking, back during childhood. Even that one Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game that I never beat. I should try that again someday, now that I know how dungeon crawlers work. But when I got my DSi, it was basically like, it was like showing up late to a party. The party's over at midnight, and you showed up at 11. It was one of those cases, and yet surprisingly, a trickle of DSiWare throughout the early through mid-2010s. Yeah, it did exist, but come on. Was it really worthwhile? Because at that point, you might as well have just bought it on the 3DS. And Now, one of the other things that I kind of regret missing out on was the Club Nintendo rewards. Back in the day, if you redeemed the points, you could have gotten Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis March Again free with Club Nintendo. I believe it would have been a download code, and yeah, I wish I got it. I wish I knew what Club Nintendo was. Well, or should I utilized it? Yeah, it's probably going to hurt a lot of people when I say this, but I have probably a whole little stack of those points codes that I never ever redeemed. One from my Wii console, my DSi XL, 2 big ones, all the Wii games I had back in the day, the DS games. If only. And I don't think the My Nintendo Rewards gave away this game. But with the eShop closing, it's like, yeah, there are some 3DS rewards you can get, but honestly, most not Club Nintendo, but My Nintendo Rewards, that new service, a lot of the rewards are kind of just junk. Yeah, the Picross game's nice. Yeah, Flipnote Studios 3D's okay. The themes are nice, but other than that, a lot of it's just print-out junk. And you gotta pay for shipping now. You didn't have to before, but now you do. And if only they utilized it more. And I wish Nintendo had like a big sale, like with their own games in the eShop. I know they have in the past, but oh, hey, who knows? There could be a sale right now that I don't even know about for some of their games. I know third parties do, but yeah. But it's like, I've never really been a fan of puzzle games. It's like, I just like to complete games and find the solutions if I can't figure them out myself. I'm the kind of guy that wants to get my games done, and that's what drove me to finally beat the game in 2021. It's like I finally started this phase where it's, okay, I'm going to buckle down, and when I can, just finish the games I haven't. I knocked out World of Light, I knocked out New Super Mario Bros. U and Luigi U. So I knocked out Sonic Mania. Knocked out the 3DS version of Captain Toad. Knocked out Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis March Again. All 100 gold stars. I mean, it'll keep you busy, and there's plenty of content to do, so yeah, if you want a game that'll keep you busy, and if you want a challenge, go for it. But I don't know if it's the greatest of games, but still, it's one of those things where it doesn't have to be that perfect, for lack of a better term. And I mean, come on, if you're a fan of puzzle games, it's like, or a fan of anything in general, it's like you're always going to want more, and well, chances are, if you've already beaten all the cartridge-based games, hey, just have some more. 100 more levels. I don't know. I don't think they're recycled levels or anything, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much. But in the end, it's like going back to, the DSiShop in general, it's like there weren't, with the kind of lack of games it had, lack of good games, a lot of it was shovelware, which I mentioned last week. And, the DSi shop, I mean, they could have just, I really think that Nintendo should have just released more games on the DSi shop as an incentive to get people to play, use it as a service more, but they didn't. I don't know. And look, and another thing that's kind of worth mentioning is the fact that it didn't help matters that, some DSiWare games got delisted out of nowhere or weren't available on the 3DS shop. But it was a fun experience, and if I were to do it again, I mean, I probably would have just saved up more money for the 3DS and just bought all my DSiWare there, but at the same time, the DSi just has so much charm to it. And I'm no collector, but if you really want to pick one up, go for it. Bonus points if you can get Flipnote and some DSiWare apps on it too. I'm not an expert in homebrew, so don't ask me. That's the struggle with Mario vs. DK. It's like, it was just one of those, puzzle games. It's just another puzzle game. But it's just so satisfying, looking back, seeing that big gold star on the save file. Yeah. Now, that was the only Mario vs. Donkey Kong game I've played, and I'm willing to try the other ones in the series out, but yeah, I'm not really in a rush to do it, but, I might as well since the eShop's going away, and friendly reminder to everyone listening to this live on the 24th, redeem all the points you can on My Nintendo, spend all your eShop money while you still can. Oh, and one other tip is, if you don't have any Nintendo eShop gift cards on hand, if you've merged your funds with the Switch, Wii U, and 3DS eShop, if you merged funds between those shops together, you can add funds with a credit card on the Switch and have that money pop up on your 3DS and Wii U. That is worth mentioning. But luckily, at least, the Switch uses the same points fund cards. And that's another problem I had, with the 3DS eShop. I know this didn't exist in Europe, but it would have been a lot better if the 3DS, DSi, Wii Shop, Wii U, and Switch Shop, they all used the same points cards. Because after a while, the sad part is, after 2012, DSi points cards were non-existent then. Good luck finding any. And I know you could have used a credit card, but come on. When you're 10 years old in 2012, you won't have a credit card. Same thing when you're 16. I didn't have a credit card, and I wish I was able to add points to my Wii Shop, my current Wii's eShop channel account. Well, I still had a chance. But at least Nintendo isn't waiting too long between removing the ability to add money and shutting down the shop directly. They did that with the DSi shop, which kind of was a bad move because once you remove the ability to add money, it's like, oh, look at all these games you could have had. Look at all these fun little apps. Too bad. They were just kind of sitting there mocking you, and it was especially painful with the Wii Shop. It's like, if only I, was able to explain it differently, I probably would have had money to buy stuff, but, for those, 9-10 months from no money allowed, and no money allowed in the shop too when the Wii shop shut down. They kind of just sat there mocking you. It's like, yeah, you could have bought me. You could have bought me. You should have bought me. But at least there's, some freeware nowadays on the 3DS shop. But to wrap things up, it was just Mario vs. Donkey Kong Minis March Again. It's not a bad game. It's worth playing, but at the same time, it's just, another game. It's just another puzzle game, and soundtracks, it's okay. The level design, it's normal, typical for a puzzle game. Everything you'd want in a puzzle game. But that's that. But to all those who did tune in, whether live or on my YouTube, thank you, and until whenever, the next show maybe, I'll see you then. Bye-bye. Once again, thank you to everyone who tuned in. I hope you liked it, and, I'll see you whenever the next video may be. And I'll see you again, I guess, next week with another Games I've Played video. Until then, bye-bye.